but you were pretty decent on the ovals and especially in the crown jewel races. Now, this is a NASCAR podcast most of the time. I'd be remiss to not mention your 1967 Daytona 500 win for Holman Moody. The best you can, Mario. Take us kind of through that day and that race, winning the ninth annual Daytona 500.
Well, obviously, that practice started out quite nicely. There was my second experience there at Daytona in a stock car, and my previous one was Smoky Eunuch in a Chevelle, and I didn't have a great experience there because I had nothing to do with the setups, and anyway, it was a big experiment. But once I got with the Holman and Moody group. It was a good basic setup. The car unloaded quite nicely, quite balanced. And that was good for me because, not having the experience, I knew what felt good and I knew what didn't. But when it felt good, I could go. And so throughout, though, it was very positive. We had some issues by not getting probably the most powerful engines at the beginning of practice and actually for first single qualifying. But once I was able to lobby a little bit and get into that area, then all of a sudden, the pace came around. And in fact, I was practicing with a new engine before the twin qualifiers. I was just a little bit quicker than what Paul was, with Curtis Turner. So I knew that I had the pace, and it was a matter of just keeping it all together. Because I didn't have the pace qualifying, I opted to qualify with a much lower spoiler, 60-degree spoiler. And most of everyone was going with 45 because thinking of the race, and I had to race with what I qualified. So once I got the engine that I needed, the speed was there, but the car was aerodynamically quite loose. So it was very balanced mechanically. So I had to be very careful where I would really ride on a banking when I was in traffic, and where if I was going to be overtaken, I was trying not to be overtaken on the outside and all that. So it was, I had to be very much on my toes throughout the race. But it really worked for me because I had to lead, and in those days it was a premium to be able to follow and to be on a slipstream because of you save a lot of fuel. But I just could not afford that because I was so loose, when I was in the draft. But I was leading fine, and when I had some battles and so on and so forth along the way, I felt pretty confident. I knew where I had to ride. So, again, it was a very, very satisfying race in every way. To be able to pull it off. My teammate was Freddie Lorenzen, as you know. Obviously, was a great champion there, and was able to, to deal with him. In fact, for the last stop, we come in together. I was leading, and he was behind me, and they let him out of the pits first, and I had to chase him down, and then I couldn't shake him until we came up to some lap cars, and once I was able to shake him, then he couldn't catch up with me, and then I was fairly safe, because if he would have been right in my draft, especially in those days, there's no way that you could lead the last lap and hope to win, So everything worked out for the best, and again, it was an incredibly satisfying win, as you can imagine.